Hi guys, welcome to Reality React channel. In this channel, we watch reality TV shows to react, recap, review, and for the fun of it. And today we are recapping the Mummy Club Sugar and Spice season 1, episode 7, A Seat at the Table. And in this episode, they were discussing the fact that Christina is always leaving them with an empty seat. She doesn't RSVP, and she doesn't pitch, or if she pitches, she's gonna pitch late to the events. And in the first scene, we have them at Abigail's event, and they are discussing why Christina doesn't like Kim. And Christina just told them that she doesn't want to have this dialogue. And she has explained that the reason of why she didn't choose her. She doesn't want to go further into explaining what happened. And Kim is acting like it doesn't bother her. But when she's on her diary session, she's saying words around, I guess a lioness doesn't turn around when a chihuahua is barking. And I'm like, girl, this bothers you. Because if you were not bothered, you wouldn't keep discussing this lady all along in this whole episode. Or she wouldn't have even mentioned that. Even the other ladies could see that she's affected by this, and they were reaching out to her, holding her and telling her that they love her and they appreciate her. And funny enough, once they are done with that whole dialogue about why they don't love, why Christina doesn't like him, the game continues. These ladies, they funny, because how do you continue the game after that? But they continued the game, and Rash is asked the question about between Lush and Lenore, who will she choose if she were to get into a boat, that she had to choose one to save. And she said she chose Lush because Lush is a twin sister, and she jokingly says that she will obviously throw a Lenore a lifeboat, so that she also saves Lenore, and it moves to Lenore, and she's dead to save between the two sisters, Lush and Rash, with a kidney. If she had one kidney and they both needed the kidney, and she chose Lush because Lush has triplets, and that she will find someone that has another kidney to save Rash. And it moves to Devina, and Devina is given an option to choose between Lenore and Rash. Lenore and Rash closet, and she said that she will choose Lenore's closet because Lenore is more fashionable than Rash. Yeah, and it moves to Abigail. Abigail is dead to choose between Ashria and Christina. Who will she represent in court and why? And she said that she was going to choose Ashria because she knows Ashria more, and then but she will still, because of the fact that she's a lawyer and that she needs to do best by all her clients, she was also gonna try and save. She said this in her diary session. She was gonna try and save Christina. And Kim was on her phone while these games were being played. And then Kim stood up without letting anyone know why she's standing up and leaving. She just left. And Christina has this tendency of going to these events with no bag. So when she leaves, no one knows whether she's leaving or she's just going out. And she left the pads that Abigail provided for them to write on. I think that Christina is doing this thing of not coming with a bag or something that can make people see whether she's going or leaving, because of the fact that she can always walk out. No one will know why you are leaving, whether you are leaving or maybe you are going to the bathroom, especially because they were in a restaurant. But then after she leaves, and before Kim could answer around the question of who she choose and stuff like that, so they wait for her until she disappears. And then Abigail went to check if she had gone, and then she came back and she said, yeah, she has left. And they start skinnering her. They start gossiping about her. And I'm wondering why Abigail didn't ask why she left abruptly when she came back, or at least ask why she was going. Like, if you are having an event and then someone stands up and you are not sure of what is happening, you ask them. Even during the game, she could have literally, hey, Christina, are you okay? Where are you going? No, she sits and wait for her to disappear. And then they start skinnering her. And then, like, these ladies, they are not, yeah, the gossiping just needs, it gives weird energy. It gives that they are giving Christina too much of their time and space instead of just, they're old enough. They could just ask her, where are you going? Or what is happening? Like, why must they wait for her to disappear? And then Abigail, and then Christina goes, and then someone, and then they say that Christina is ghosting them. I'm like, she didn't ghost you. This time she didn't. She walked out. What you should have asked is, where are you going? I, then Lenore refers to Christina as another breed. Guys, like, as another breed instead of a human being. Like, these people, oh no, they just weird for me. And to show that Kim was actually bothered by Kim not liking her, she voices out that Krishna doesn't have a reason not to like her, and as she didn't give her any. And this is true because, I mean, they've only met like on TV. We don't know if they have met in real life, but from what we have seen is that they have only met like 3 times max now. And as much as people don't need a reason to like, to dislike you, but this thing of saying I don't like you doesn't need to be there, because they are in the same club and they know that they were casted and all of that. So all of this is just very unnecessary, especially because they keep mentioning that this show is not scripted. So we know that this is Kim's character. This is how she is. And in Kim's confessionals and diary sessions, she mentions a statement that implies that Christina is actually jealous of her. And I don't know, because she's shining and she thinks that, but she also thinks that, so it shows some bit of humanity amongst the ladies. So Kim also mentions that Christina might be going through something. And in all of this, the game continues and they start discussing Davina's house. So Kim had to choose something around housing and who she will choose between whoever. I can't remember who it was. And she chose Davina because she has been to Davina's house. And then Christina comes back and she says to Abigail that she's leaving. And because her baby called and the baby is not well, and that's why she was leaving. And she fetches, I think I can call it a goodie bag, because it's just like a notepad. So that's what she got from Abigail. And Kim made a remark that Abigail shouldn't be friendly to Christina. She needs to choose a side. And I'm like, is this primary school? People don't need to choose a side. Like, and also Abigail, the fact that Abigail is also a host, she needs to show some kindness to everyone because she's the one hosting. Also, from where I'm standing, maybe Christina wasn't well. Because even when she got there, you could see that something is offish. I thought that she's being offish because she knows of the things that she has done to the ladies. So she shouldn't be acting like she's very fine. But also the fact that she was on the phone, maybe it's true that her baby really called. When she stood up, she went to answer that call and stuff like that. Or that, because now I'm just thinking of a scenario of why she came back. Or maybe the production team noticed that, oh, they're screening her. Let's ask Christina to go back and maybe she'll find them discussing her. And yeah, we'll have a story. I mean, it's all of these things that can happen. It's possible. And they all, like, instead of feeling sorry for her, Resh is being dramatic around this. Lenore says that she's disturbed and they get their food. And then Abigail, the host, says that she'll call Christina to find out what is happening. In the next scene, we have Lenore. We're going to consult with a plastic surgeon, Dr. McGill, and it's for breast augmentation that she wants to have because she's tired of wearing a smaller size bra and she wants to show off some cleavage once this whole thing is done, and still be able to wear tops without needing a bra. And I'm like, if the way that her boobs looks like, it seems like she could wear a top without needing a bra. But I mean, it seems like she wanted to boost her confidence. And during this consultation, she mentions to the doctor that her daughter wants to be a reconstructive surgeon and she's doing fifth year. And also, she mentions that this is her second consultation, and she mentions her health issues like the fibromyalgia and osteopenia, and because of these conditions, she's worried that it might affect how she will react to the surgery, or the implants might not work well for her because these illnesses, and the doctor reassures her that it won't affect the breast augmentation won't be affected by this, or that it won't make a major impact to her illnesses that she already has. And this is her first cosmetic surgery, and the doctor explains the whole process and the fact that she will need 6 weeks where she must not move anyhow because that will affect her results. And I'm thinking this breast augmentation or this cosmetic surgery requires a lot because she needs to wear a supportive bra 24/7 for 3 months, even though she can change it and she can take it off when she's bathing. But it's just like, wow, it's a lot. And then Resh and Losh in the next scene takes us through the preparing of Shivarati. And I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right or correctly. And they explain the whole process of what food they need to cook for this and take to the prayer room. And Resh and her daughter and her son, they do the whole I could be mixing the twins, but they do the prayer room sessions and they show us what they are doing, and they're holding each other's hands and they're giving the coconut because the coconut that explains the processes of what needs to happen when you are preparing, when you are in these prayer rooms. And I'm like, this is interesting, this is wholesome, this shows their lives in general and who they pray to. And her daughter had to give a speech, even though I feel like the speech was just for the show, because I didn't see anyone else gives the speech or mention, like they mentioned that someone else was also gonna give a speech. And this was a wholesome thing like that they did to take us through their lives. And Losh is also been spending time with so they go to the event, not the event, to the temple, and the temple looked very nice. I don't know if it's the lighting at night, but it looked looked good. And they go meet their I don't want to say their gods, but yeah, sort of like those, moving from one temple to the not temple, moving from one god to another, praying and stuff like that. And yeah, they also bumped into Natasha, and Losh arrives at the temple after they have gone to the temple, Resh and family, and they bumped into Natasha, and yeah, it was nice. And Miashka gave the speech, and she wishes that Lord Shiva can. In part of her speech was the inequality in South Africa, and I like the fact that these, I don't know, she's not really a kid, but these kids are aware of what is happening in the country, like the inequality that affects South Africa. And she was praying to the Lord Shiva that, as part of her speech, that she wishes that they can help with the inequality. And I liked the dances, and they were showing Lord Shiva fighting the devil in the moves, even though you couldn't recognize who's the Lord Shiva, who's the devil you could see. But yeah, it was interesting, the dance moves and everything else. And in the next scene, Losh is spending time with her daughters, her triplets, and they're all talking about their lives. One of the triplets that I'm going to call Dash is a baker, and she was making a cake, and she wanted to make cupcakes. And one of them mentions that they wish they could have taken the cupcakes to the temple. And Losh mentions that you can't use eggs at the temple because you're supposed to be fasting and you're supposed to eat vegetables or vegetarian meals, and that excludes eggs or anything like that. And one of the other daughter is a poet, and she's writing a poem about it takes a village to raise a child. And then also at the end of the reciting of the poem, she says that the child that doesn't feel the warmth of the village, or that doesn't get the warmth from the village, will burn it down and to feel it warms. And these kids, they seem smart, hey? Yeah, it's very interesting. The other triplet is a TikToker, and they take videos, and some of them they post them, some of them they don't post them. And then they ask about the events that they had and and they ask about Natasha's absence from the career day because they met her there at the temple. And Losh uses the moment to teach the kids about how not to be like Christina. So this is what I meant by saying that it seems like this episode was about how Christina is not such a good person, such that to an extent where she would be used as an example or as a learning moment for these kids about how not to behave. She explains everything from the beginning, and she explains about the baby shower, how Christina was not fully aware of herself, and at the Pens Club when she disrespected Lino and called Lino old, and how you're not supposed to do that. And the kids were engaging in these conversations. They seemed interested to learn from their mother's friend of what to do and what not to do. It was just weird for me, because I think that as much as you're not supposed to behave the way Christina behaved, but is there a need to use her as an example? Because these kids are likely going to meet her and then they're gonna look at her funny. I don't know, man. It just seems like she was still gossiping about Christina. In the next scene, we go to Kim's event at Shaka's Cafe. And Shaka's Cafe has been in the making for the past 6 months, and it has nice views. It's next to the beach. It's a relaxing. It serves coffee, and they can make masala tea and all of that. And they have baked goods. It's just like a cafe. And so Kim and her friend is already there, and Davina gets there first, and she explains that she needs to go get her kids because when she was coming, they called her and said that they can't fetch the kids. Someone can fetch her kids. And the friend that I was referring to is Kiki Kiara. Is the one that helped Kim with the organizing of the day. And Losh arrives, Natasha and Lino arrives together. Niliana arrives, and Natasha and Niliana knows each other. They have met at the baby shower, and Natasha says something about Niliana's outfit, that she only likes the belt, which means that she doesn't like the outfit, but she only likes the belt. But at least she didn't say it out loud. She said it at her diary sessions. And yeah, it just seems like a wholesome event. And they discuss Christina's absence again to say, why is there an empty seat? And did Christina say that she's coming? And I don't think Kim invited Christina. I think even in her absence, Christina always gives these ladies something to talk about, because this is Kim's event. I don't know. They should be discussing the coffee shop and the reusable cups and the meaning of Shaka's cafe, because it says that according to Kim, it's all good. That's what it means. And I'm wondering why the Zulu Kingdom has not done the copyright thing to say that you can't just use the word Shaka or something, because I don't understand, even though it's Shaka's, but it's still Shaka Zulu something. I don't know. You could refer to him. When I heard it the first time, that's what I thought of anyway. And Niliana asked Christina if Christina is not part of the group. And Lino explains that, so this is part of the discussion of Christina, the skinnering, the gossiping that happened. And then Lino explains that Christina's actions has excluded her from the group. And I'm not sure if Kim invited her to this event. Kiki leaves for house viewing, and yeah. And the programs, and then they discuss Natasha's absence for the past two events, and she says that she's going to give a speech towards the end, and I don't know why she couldn't give the speech then. And the program starts, and Kim, it seems like Kim has partnered with Matt for this cafe, and Matt explains the ethos of the cafe, and the fact that they have reusable cups, and if one reuses one of the cups, then they give a discount to the people, because they are cautious of the fact that we throw things into the ocean and then it destroys the environment, like the disposable cups. So if you get an incentive to use the cup, then it means that you will be not doing those things going forward. And so when Natasha had asked for Niliana asked why Christina is not part of the group, Kim again dramatically explained what has happened in the baby shower, in her the picnic that she had, the Abigail's event, the walk off of Christina at these events, and she's explaining these to Natasha and Liliana, and they like the questions game. Even though I feel like with that game, it seemed like the only questions that the first question that Christina was asked was not like a hypothetical question like the other ones that the other people were being asked. It was realist. It was like a realistic question, because if you say that she needs to undo something, it's because something had happened. They could have said, if you were in a boat, who would you save? Because it's not a something that had happened between them. So these questions, that game, it seems like it was a game to attack her, and maybe the questions were not fair. That question could have been asked to someone that nothing had happened between them. Then it would have been a hypothetical question. Actually, that question should have been scrapped off, because I don't understand why they would ask such a question, because Christina had an issue with the people there. So maybe the author of the question, as much as Abigail had explained that those questions were not written by her, but whoever wrote those questions knew that Christina had something. So I think that they could have give it to someone else if they didn't want the drama. But anyway, I don't think that and I think that she had a valid reason to leave the game, not because of the question, but because of the reasons that she gave. However, I don't think Christina's behavior is good before the games night. Was good before the games night. So yeah. And then Liliana explains that Christina has called her, but she won't dwell much on the details. But she suspects that Christina is not okay. So after Kim was done explaining all of those things, so then she says that Christina had called her before, and then but she won't dwell on what is happening. But she talks about maybe Christina is not well mentally because of how she's talking and stuff like that. And Devina stops the talks about Christina, and they start cheering Kim. And I like that because I'm like, this is why you are there. That's the main reason you are there. So it's important that they don't forget why they are there. So it was a good thing. And I like that conversation was stopped and they started admiring the place and start talking about Kim's work. And then now they go to Natasha, and Natasha explains that she needs to leave for India, and then what she has been busy with. That's why she missed those events. And Lenore cried, like she was teary, and about the fact that Natasha is leaving. But she also explained that she's happy for her because this is what has been in the making, so it's good for Natasha. And everyone explains that they are happy for her and they have food. And as they are eating, Christina arrives. The latecomer of the group arrives, and she says hi to everyone. And Liliana says that Christina is late, and Liliana, and then Christina says that she responds and says that you are the reason why I am there. She was there because Liliana called Christina earlier to come and support a woman in business, even though she doesn't like her. So this was the statements that she made. And I'm like, Liliana is so spicy. Because how are you Kim's friend that even managed to organize a baby shower for Kim, but for some odd reason that you are calling someone that disrespected her? And I think that in this case, I think if Kim could be angry, it will make sense that to say that she doesn't understand why Neliana is choosing Kim's side, because Neliana is her friend. And now it's confusing to know who called who between these Christina and Neliana, because Kim is saying that, Neliana said that Christina called her, and Christina is saying that you called me earlier to come to this event. So she doesn't get why she's the one who convinced her to go to this event, and she's shocked when she gets there that she's late. So it's a weird vibe that Neliana is giving. Not a weird vibe, but a spicy vibe. And this show is called The Mummy Club, Sugar and Spice. So makes sense. And in the next episode, Natasha, who had one-sided story, is asking Christina to give her an apology to this woman. I don't know, unless if they discuss this thing and they are just showing the clips to say that Natasha is asking for an apology from Christina. And for me, if she didn't ask for Christina to give the story of what had happened, to get her side of the story, is giving wrong approach. Because if you want to resolve an issue and you want to resolve it correctly, you need to find out what had happened from both sides, and then you can say we are resolving it by you guys asking an apology and the other one asking an apology, even though Christina is wrong. But yeah. And yeah, it sounds like, it's weird. Thank you for watching Reality React channel. See you in the next one.